But we're all here today because we care deeply about the health and well-being of not just these kids up here, but for all kids like them all across the country. And clearly we're determined to finally take on one of the most serious threats to their future, and that's the epidemic of childhood obesity in America today. And obviously it's an issue of great concern to me, not just as a First Lady, but as a mother. And as Tiki said, often when we talk about this issue, we begin by citing sobering statistics like the ones we've heard today. And we can't say it enough because we have to drill this in, that over the past 3 decades, childhood obesity rates in this country have tripled. That nearly 1/3 of children in America are now overweight or obese. That's 1 in 3 of our children. But the truth is that these numbers don't paint the full picture, and it's important to say this. The words overweight and obese, those words don't tell the full story, because this isn't about inches and pounds, and it's not about how our kids look. It has nothing to do with that. It's about how our kids feel, and it's about how they feel about themselves. It's about the impact that we're seeing that this issue is having on every aspect of their lives. Pediatricians like Dr. Palfrey all over this country are seeing kids with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, more and more kids with type 2 diabetes, and as we all know, that used to only be a disease of adults. Our teachers, talking to a lot of them, they are telling me how they're seeing the bullying, the teasing. Our school counselors see the depression and the low self-esteem. Coaches are seeing kids struggling to keep up, or worse yet, sitting on the sidelines, unable to engage. Our military leaders report that obesity is now one of the most common disqualifiers for military service. Economic experts tell us that we are spending outrageous amounts of money treating obesity-related conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And then public health experts, as Tiki said, tell us that the current generation is actually on track to having a shorter lifespan than their parents. And none of us wants this future for our kids, and none of us wants this future for our country. So instead of just talking about this problem and worrying and wringing our hands, it's time for us to get going and do something about this. We have to act. So let's move. Let's get this done. Let's move to get families and communities together to make healthy decisions for their kids. Let's move to bring together our governors and our mayors, doctors and nurses, businesses, community groups, educators, athletes, moms, dads, you name it, together to tackle this challenge once and for all. And that's why we're here today, to launch this wonderful new campaign called Let's Move. Let's hear it. Let's move. Let's Move is a campaign that's going to rally our nation to achieve a single but very ambitious goal, and that's to solve the problem of childhood obesity in a generation so that children born today will reach adulthood at a healthy weight. But to get where we want to go, it's important for us to first understand how we got here. So I'm going to ask all the grown-ups in the room to just close your eyes for a moment and think back. Think back to the time when we were all kids, as Tiki did. He's there, causing trouble.
My brother.
Yeah. Like many of you, when I was young, we walked to school every day, rain or shine, and in Chicago, it was in the wind, sleet, snow, and hail. We were out there. You remember how at school we had to have recess, had to have it. You had to have gym. We spent hours running around outside when school got out. You couldn't even go inside until it was time for dinner. And then in so many households, we'd gather around the table for dinner as a family. And in my household and many, there was one simple rule. You ate what was on your plate, good, bad, or ugly. Kids had absolutely no say in what they felt like eating. If you didn't like it, you were welcome to go to bed hungry. And back then, fast food was a treat. It was something that happened occasionally. It was a big treat for us. And dessert was mainly a Sunday affair. And in my home, we weren't rich. The foods weren't fancy, but there was always a vegetable on the plate. And we managed to lead pretty healthy lives. But many kids today aren't so fortunate.